from creating a nasty stuff, like usually in C, when you want to access some memory or some register and put some stuff inside this register directly. You can use this nice construct with a lot of casting, and Go is giving you this possibility as well. It's inside the unsafe package. So as you can see on this snippet here, this is actually the Raspberry Pi Go library, where we are creating or accessing GPIO mem, which is memory mapped access to the hardware, basically, and using some kind of nasty casting, you can actually access this memory directly. It's not, it doesn't look nice, but it does the job. And here at the end, our experience with Go so far. So especially when we started, we've been having a lot of issues with vendoring third-party dependencies and libraries. So there are a lot of different ways you can, you could and still can actually use to vendor the libraries. There are ways to, or work started to standardize this, but it's still a little bit messy. Then community libraries varies a lot. It's not Go specific, it's usually most of the languages and libraries you're using, but the thing is, Go is pretty new language, and there's a lot of libraries that are not having 20,000 GitHub stars, for example, or stuff like that. So you need to be a little bit more careful and experiment with the stuff which you don't know a lot about the quality. And then I'm mentioning already Yocto. So this wasn't supported, but we contributed a lot to make sure it happens. And CGO, our experience was that it's pretty cool that you can use C bindings inside of Go code. But when you're doing this, then all the easiness of cross-compiling is gone. So there's a lot of issues with using CGO, especially when you're compiling for embedded devices. But on the bright side, it's been very easy to do the transition from C or Python. So when you do, and when you know Python or C, it's fairly easy to learn Go. Then extremely nice tooling and standard library. And we did some exchange of the task between backend and the client team, but not as much as we would like to see. And then I really do think that Go is super productive programming language, so it lets us do the stuff a couple times faster compared to C. And the last one is pretty questionable, I would say. So a lot of my friends disagree with this statement, but first coding standard is also something I personally really like, because no matter what library you're looking at, the code always looks the same. So it's really nice and it's really easy to read anyone else's libraries. And at the end, yeah, now I'm having a little bit different demo. So at the end, I'm gonna present you some application that's written in Go. So this is Raspberry Pi car, and it's running Go application inside, and it's having a very simple React front end. So I will try to connect there and see if it's working. Okay, so it's a very simple application. It's React, and here I'm having two joysticks. One is to move the car, and the other one is to move the camera. So I hope it's gonna work. Right. So yeah, it's written in Go. It's I'm using some third-party libraries. It's called GoRobot. Pretty handy when you're doing some kind of embedded development. But I've been also playing a little bit with some C standard or C libraries and C binding. So yeah, this is a proof that you can actually use the Go codes to run some kind of embedded devices. Thank you. Okay, any questions?
So this question must be asked, why not Rust?
Actually, we've been talking about Rust as well, and yeah, the thing was that Go, at least one guy knew in the company, and Rust, yeah, we've been not having a lot of experience, and Rust is probably a great choice for embedded devices or embedded applications, but I'm not sure if it's the best choice for doing the backend applications. And as I mentioned, one of the requirements we've been having was that reusing or sharing the code between the backend and client would be handy and nice. It didn't happen after all, but this was at least the thing we've been thinking of when we've been selecting the technology.
So will the Go stay in the company for future development?
Yeah, I think so. So it also depends on the technology. So the question was if Go will stay in our company. I don't think you should, fix all the problems using the hammer. So probably depending on our needs, we'll either do Go again or we'll do something else. So we are considering Rust actually for one of the application we are building at the moment, but for sure when we'll do some kind of backend networking and stuff like that, then Go will be probably top of the list to be selected as the technology for doing this future application.
Just one question out of curiosity, because Go is natively supported by Go. What about the suite? Is like a third-party thing?
It's third party.
Is it possible to build something like that without Go and only pure Go?
Yes, but you'll need to spend some time doing this. So with Raspberry Pi, it's a little bit sorry, it's a little bit easier because the community and developers, they made a lot of really amazing work to make it easier for people to develop the application. So for example, a lot of access to GPIO